Austro-Hungarian Empire came into existence in 1867 before it was the Austrian Empire, not until they decided to include Hungarians in the name. Except, why did it have to exist? To understand why it existed, we must explore the failures of Austria's attempt at trying to become one of the popular kids in Europe and even in Germany, of course, and Hungary's long struggle for autonomy over the past centuries. By the mid-19th century, Europe was, as it always has been, chaotic in political affairs. Austria's prestige and power were being challenged. The Austrian Empire had suffered significant defeats, most notably in the Austro-Prussian War of 1866, with Wilhelm I and Bismarck as usual, which led to Austria's defeat. This loss effectively ended Austria's influence over German unification, as many German states were convinced that Prussian leadership was more reliable than whatever Vienna had to say. Not to mention, the empire isn't even fully Austrian. It's a diverse multi-ethnic nation filled with Czechs, Poles, Romanians, Hungarians, and many more. As you can imagine, nationalism was a hot topic in this country, particularly in Hungary. As they were about to throw a revolution in 1848, the Hungarians of course had the Austrians kindly respond by receiving gunpowder right into their faces, along with a little Russian flair too. Thus, the revolution was crushed, yet the Hungarian demands for self-governance did not disappear. Although, as you can already tell, repression alone would not really suffice to maintain unity. So Emperor Franz Joseph, under pressure, sought to improve and stabilize by proposing a compromise to prevent his crumbling empire. This led to the Augsleich, or Compromise of 1867, which essentially allowed Hungarians to finally decide things that many Austrians wouldn't like, thus creating the dual monarchy of Austria Hungary. Under this agreement, the empire was divided into two distinct entities, Cisleithania and Transleithania. Each had its own government, parliament, and constitution, while sharing a common ruler, foreign policy, and military. And so, Franz Joseph was now the Emperor of Austria and the King of Hungary, simultaneously. This arrangement, while it led to a Hungarian autonomy, preserved the empire's unity. They still had not solved the issues for other ethnic groups. Many who weren't even Austrian or Hungarian had limited representation and were also repressed. Like the way Hungarians treated the Romanians was the same as the British treating the Irish. And while the empire did kind of last, albeit weak, whenever Austria wanted to do something, like helping Napoleon's nephew win against Germany apparently, the Hungarians would stop it. And it was like that almost every time. Despite these obvious flaws, the dual monarchy endured for over 5 decades, until, of course, some Serbian in Bosnia decided to welcome the Archduke and his wife with a blast, which led to Austria-Hungary being involved in their first Great War, until they lost. In short, the nation simply existed because the Habsburgs wanted to cling to power a little longer, despite Austria's waning power and Hungary's growing demands for independence. Thank you for watching. Love and peace.